Hello again. You all right? All right, guys, welcome back. It's AKM episode 9. We are live now on YouTube and Twitch. I just got a notification, Sean. I couldn't get a chance to tell you, but we can't stream on X anymore because you need to have a subscription now to stream over on X, which you never used to have. I've just noticed that now. So
What's going on with you, Elon Musk? You need to sort that crap out. It's no wonder I've left X.
So yeah, we're not on X as of right now. I'll try and see if I can sort some out. I think it's a bit expensive. Though. It's about 20 odd quid a month. It's something daft, you know. Is that? I don't think I'll be paying that just so I could stream on X. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, that's by the by. Anyway, guys, you're here for the Liverpool news today. We're going to be talking about Darwin Nunez, as I've not covered it on this channel, and Sean has obviously not had an opportunity for him to do it. We're going to touch on some transfer links and my thoughts on whether I believe they're correct and anything like that. Cover the stats on the players. And then we've also got a nice little funny thing at the end, you know, something for you to stick around for this would you rather at the end, basically. And Sean has got a nice little clip video for us to look before we get into that. So, right then, anything you want to plug right at the beginning, Sean, before we get going?
I have to say a big thank you to, I hope I get this name right, because he has been in contact with me over the last while. He's an artist, and I have, because I've no life, I have a Danke Jurgen Klopp Facebook page, and I've got, I'd say, over 25,000. Wayne Henley, he's a really, really good artist. But because I have been kind of plugging an awful lot of his artwork, especially the Jurgen Klopp one, he's been really, really kind to send me out a print of it, which I'm just over the moon with, and it was really, really nice of him to do that. So Wayne Henley, check him out. Very, very talented, and he doesn't just stop at Liverpool stuff. He does other stuff. And then, of course, I have to plug my own stuff, and that's JackDesigns 2020. Can you see that mug there? There you go. That's one of my little designs there. But it's there's plenty of Arne Slot stuff. Arne Slot, sorry, we have to pronounce it correct. Arne Slot. Put a bit of country in it. Arne Slot. So yeah, plenty of that stuff on it, and check it out. JackDesigns 2020 on Redbubble.
Yeah, and the link is in the description on this video and all videos I do as well, actually, I think. So, yeah, it's all down there, guys, if you want to go have a look. So then, shall we dig into this tournament malarkey? So, we'll start off with probably the Euros first, because it's probably the thing that I probably know most of, and obviously yourself as well. So, final was yesterday. You know, obviously England got beat 2-1 by Spain. Sean, I was not obviously bothered. To be fair, I will say, I feel like this tournament hasn't felt like a tournament's been going on, if that makes sense. It hasn't actually hit me at any point to think like, oh, do you know what? There's actually a tournament going on this summer. Like, I've not felt any excitement for it whatsoever. And then going into that final, I was under no illusion that England were going to win that. Like, I never once thought England were going to win it.
No.
Even when we scored that goal, to be fair, we called Palmer, which was a good goal. I thought he took that well. I didn't think that we were going to win it. But sticking with Liverpool players in the Euros with England especially, I guess Trent wasn't the problem. Do you know what I mean? I've got to say as well, I do think that Southgate going into a tournament and experimenting straight up was a bit of a bad mistake. You should already know. You should already know what you want to do before you even get to the tournament. You shouldn't use your first couple of games of a tournament to like try new things. It's not for me. And then taking Joe Gomez as well, and not having an out-and-out left back, playing Kieran Trippier at left back when you've got Joe Gomez on the bench, who has been playing left back for Liverpool probably a lot more than Kieran Trippier has been playing left back for Newcastle. Again, makes no sense to me whatsoever. Does that? You could have been
Luke Shaw.
Well, Luke Shaw was injured for most of the tournament. He only came back for like last 2 games.
So why didn't the Lord Jesus bring him in and then all of a sudden then start complaining because the players aren't fit? That's kind of what that happens if you bring unfit players to a tournament with you.
Exactly.
Crazy.
And I think as well, the whole Harry Kane thing as well. Like, I know this isn't Liverpool based stuff right now, but he was just shocking. And I think Ollie Watkins as well. I think he showed that he could play at a bigger club. Well, don't want to sound disrespectful to Aston Villa fans, but he could 100% play at a bigger club than Aston Villa, I think, Ollie Watkins. And the way he took that goal against Holland was something that Liverpool have been lacking for a long time. I'd say that instinct finish. So yeah, there was that came up, obviously. Cody Gakpo was joint top goal scorer, along with 5 other players. Harry Kane being one of them. The Georgia striker, whose name I can't pronounce. We've tried it before we went live, and I butchered it.
Mikhail.
Yeah, Mika. We call him Mika. Something. The Slovakia or Slovenian striker, he was up there as well. And I'm sure. Oh, Musiala and Dani Almo, they both were the joint top goal scorer also. But yeah, Cody Gakpo was the only player out of all of the 6 that was a top goal scorer to score a goal outside the box. Harry Kane was the one that got a penalty. So for me, that knocks him down. But yeah, I honestly can't wait for Cody Gakpo to come back and play me. Especially
definitely. I think he's going to be all right. Gary, tally ho,
Gary.
I think. I mean, let's look at it this way: the English media are dreadful, right? Dreadful for tearing apart the players. Social media is dreadful for tearing apart the players. But they have this. They think they have this God-given right that every tournament they go into, it's coming home. It's coming home. And as Kasper Schmeichel once said, has it ever been home? I mean, the Euros, that is. I think, people say that they were unlucky in the final. I think they were lucky to get to the final.
Yeah.
I haven't. I like genuinely. I'm going to be straight up, guys. I haven't really watched all that much of the Euros. It's only the bits and bobs that I've managed to watch and what I've heard from other people. I have trouble sleeping. The Euros helped me. Let's just put it that way. They helped me.
Muscusi is here. Muscusi. I think you missed him, Sean, last week, didn't you?
Muscusi. Man, I miss Muscusi.
I don't think he joined us live last week. I don't think so anyway.
No.
Or if he did, it was right towards the back end. I can't remember. But yeah, welcome back, mate. Yeah, you're right. Again, I don't want to stick on this England thing too much, but I think people take out of consideration what Southgate has done, saying like, oh, he's got to a quarters, a semis, and a couple of finals or whatever. But at the end of the day, if you look at what the teams he had to play to get to the finals, it was lined up easy for him. That's all I'm gonna like. All I have to say about the whole thing. Like, and then when he comes across a team that could give him a bit of a trouble, got beat. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, you get beat by Italy, got beat by Croatia, got beat by was it France or something like that? I can't remember exactly who by, but getting beat by all these different good teams and scraping through to get to finals and stuff like that. So yeah.
I think Jamie Carragher was right. He sent out a tweet there shortly after England was knocked out or lost the final, should I say. And I think in a roundabout way, he said that you can look at the managers all you like and look at the coach and staff and whatever. It's down to the players, and the players did not turn up. It's as simple and as straightforward as that. The players didn't turn up. Of course, Southgate has to be responsible for some of his decisions. I mean, we can blame Trent till the cows come home. Trent is one of the best passers of the ball, second to none. I mean, there's no one better than them, I think, personally. But yeah.
Just want to cover. So we've got Jamie Phillips here, mate. Welcome back, mate. Hope you're doing
well,
mate.
Jamie.
Just caught you up back end of your stream, pal. Hope you're well, mate. We've got Gary saying he wants Almo and Williams at Liverpool. Me and Sean were talking yesterday about Dani Almo, the day before. I don't think Liverpool need Dani Almo. If you're bringing him in, to me, he plays in a similar role to Szoboszlai and Elliott, Jones, for instance. Like you're wasting money that you've got on a position that you've already got enough depth in for me. You could use that money elsewhere. Nico Williams, I could take him 100%, but
especially after the tournament he's had.
Yeah, 100%. What's Miss Goody saying? England are like a top 5 team if Europe was a league. You know what? Yeah, 100%. We'd be getting into like top 4, top 5 as England and being like, right, success.
I've had a few people take the piss out of me, because I've been kind of like, it's coming home, and then false alarm video. and someone said, did Ireland get into the Euros? I was like, yeah, the Eurovision. Yeah.
And then lastly as well, just wanted to, before we move on, like cover the Copa America. So yesterday, I think it was yesterday or early hours this morning. Argentina played Colombia in the final. Obviously we got McAllister and Diaz both played in that game, and Argentina came out on top 1-0. Messi got that injury where his ankle seemed to swell up like a balloon, like it was massive.
Yeah.
Don't know what the hell happened to him. I didn't see any of the stuff in live action or anything like that. Lautaro Martinez was the player that scored the goal to win it for Argentina. But sticking with the Liverpool stuff, Alexis McAllister for the whole tournament was joint second on assists with 2, which, when you look at who came top in James Rodriguez, or James Rodriguez, as you call him, he had 6. And then he was well above everybody else who just had 2, as I say, in Alexis McAllister. And then we will be talking about the Darwin Nunez situation I've already mentioned. And he was second in the whole tournament on expected goals behind Lautaro Martinez. Lautaro Martinez was on 3.3 and Nunez finished the tournament on 2.6. So I guess not too bad, not too shabby for what's his face? What's it? Oh.
Streamlabs. What's going on?
I need to sort that out. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I'll delete that one. No man, that's gone. Don't worry, Miss Goose. It'll never happen again.
Am I allowed curse?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Well, fuck you, Streamlabs.
Yeah. I don't know why that keeps popping up. I have a look at that actually. It's like a bot channel thing that's supposed to like monitor what people are saying. That so
is that on Twitch? Is it? Is that
yeah, it's on Twitch. That's probably what's brought that over or something. Yeah. So yeah, that was basically it for the Copa America. I don't know if you've got anything you want to mention about that, Shano. Anything?
Well, I mean, unfortunately not. I didn't watch the Copa America. I can't even pronounce it. I didn't watch it at all. So I saw clips of what we're about to talk about, but that's about it. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it is mad. So you've brought it up there, Sean. So what we'll do is now we will talk about the Darwin Nunez situation. I haven't got any footage to show you guys. I haven't clipped anything or anything like that. I think it is a bit old news, but as I say, I haven't covered it. Shauno's not covered it. But just to, I guess, recap. So again, we were talking before we went live, like we don't really know the chronological order of what happened and everything like that, but it seems to be something along the lines of the Uruguayan fans were all in this area congregated, and they were basically surrounded by Colombian fans on either side or something like that. Something happened. The players' families also, the players' families were reportedly to be in harm's way. And the players reacted because there was no police around or anything like that to basically try and help the situation. A lot of people have blown the whole Darwin Nunez situation out, basically making it sound like he was the only player. But when you actually look at it, there was probably like, I'd say the majority of the team was up there. And there was also like the comment from the person who did the interview who was basically calling out he was calling out the whole situation. Basically, there was lack of police there. It was all badly handled, which is true. So we've seen the footage of Nunez jumping up there. As Miscusi here says, Nunez got baptized by a Colombian priest from the crown. Yeah, that's true. I didn't even know that until Sean told me before he went live. That's quite funny.
Bless you.
Took a punch, though, didn't he? Took it. And then I've seen the video where he's chucking the chair about, and again, I've asked Sean if he's aware if that was before or after the whole crowd thing. I'm not sure. I'm still not 100% sure if it's being confirmed or not that Nunez's family had already been taken out of the crowd before he'd gone in. I'd heard that had happened, that basically they were out and he went in anyway. And if that is the case, that his family were no longer in harm's way when he went in, then throw the book at him. As far as I'm of the opinion anyway. I don't know we're going, Charles. Before we go into like the stuff and everything, what have you got to say about it?
You see, like I'm not going to be one of those that is going to blindly support one of our own because of the fact that they put on the red of Liverpool. You know, I was against Suarez for, you know, what he did with Patrice Evra. I was against what he was doing in terms of biting players. I'm against any player that misbehaves themselves. El Hadj Diouf for Liverpool as well. Absolute dirtbird. And I would wipe completely off the Liverpool books, history books, if I could. Absolutely disgraceful player. In terms of Nunez, he does seem to have a hot fuse. We've seen him kind of jumping over subs benches when we score or whatever. That's fine. That's grand. It's good to see that passion. But when it comes to jumping into a crowd, it's just simply not acceptable. Okay, I mean, if you're protecting your family, that's one thing. But to go and, I mean, we will all remember Nunez and his behavior that night. That's the one thing that will stick out.
Yeah, go on, mate. Sorry, go on.
No, you're okay. I think he may have landed himself in an awful lot of trouble, and I think we might be seeing possibly a ban, certainly international, but probably club as well. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think that, like, again, as I mentioned just then about him being, if it's true that his family had been taken out before he'd gone in, then he's got himself to blame. But we've got all these other things as well that basically, like, where, you know, when he was playing in was it his first season against Crystal Palace, and that other player was constantly like nudging him or whatever like that, and he just he nutted him. Like you said, he's got a bit of a short fuse by the sounds of it. Does Nunez, and it didn't help the situation, I guess, with his family being like, if I'd have been in that situation, I thought my family was there, yeah, I'd have probably jumped in as well. I'm not gonna lie, but if your family's not there, then you've got no reason to go. Like, there was a lot of other players that were standing around, if you watch the footage, that were like trying to kind of like show that they were there, but they weren't doing anything. They were kind of just like a part of the group, if that makes sense. So yeah, I don't know about that. I think he's just, yeah. So I just thought we'll go through this bit here first. So we've got these statements here. So the first one is from the CONMEBOL, which is
EA Sports. It's in the game.
The disciplinary committee has opened an investigation to understand the sequence of events and the responsibilities of those involved in the acts of violence that occurred at the end of the match between the national teams of Uruguay and Colombia. On the eve of the final of the Copa America, we want to reaffirm and warn that no action will be tolerated that tarnishes this global football celebration, which involves both the players and the fans present in the stadium, and which will be watched by hundreds of millions of viewers worldwide. It is unacceptable that an incident like this turns passion into violence. Therefore, no behaviour that harms the sporting competition and the most beautiful spectacle in the world, which belongs to the entire football family, will be tolerated. So, to me, that don't make good reading, does that? To me, no. So I don't know. I honestly don't.
He's in trouble.
Yeah, because I saw some people were taking it that, like, because he played in the playoff, the third round playoff, whatever, you know, to finish third. He played in that. So people thinking, oh well, he's played in that, so it's fine. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't hear anything about it within the next couple of weeks regarding some sort of stuff that happens when we start getting a bit more of a story of what happened now that tournament's over with. They'll have a bit more time to actually like look into it and see what happened. So I think you mentioned earlier, you reckon he might get a 6-9 month ban or something like that worldwide or something?
Well, I mean, when you look at Cantona and what happened with him now, obviously it's you know, it's slightly different, but I'd imagine that you could be looking at a 6 month or a 9 month, as Chris N says, you know. But I mean, it looks as though, like, Chris N says that there was trouble there in the final last night as well.
Oh, I can't see that comment. Oh yeah, that's it. Players' families couldn't get into the final. Yeah. Sounds like Paris, doesn't it? To be fair, in Liverpool at the Champions League where people couldn't get in.
Yeah, that's a good point by Cranky JD. Love the username there. Evening, guys. I find it ironic they can blame the players, fans, yet no mention of the lack of organisation or the event handling. I think that would be another point that I was going to touch on is obviously the event handling and the organisation and the security. Absolutely, that's a massive problem. But if you're a professional footballer, you need to be professional, and if your family is out of all that hassle, it's best to then remove yourself from it and remove your family from that situation as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying last night, Chris, then that the fans couldn't get in with tickets last night? Is that what you're saying? Like, bloody hell.
So it does look like it's the same sort of situation as it was with
yeah. It's a bit worrying as well to you got like America's obviously hosting the World Cup next as well. So what's it going to be like with that? As well though, have you seen the state of the stadium after the final? Like all the glass smashed with all the escalators and everything like that.
No, but I did see fans trying to get in through the vents and stuff like that. Look, I actually thought it was like a Hulk Hogan convention because it looked like Hulk Hogan. It looked like they were wearing Hulk Hogan stuff or whatever, but it was actually fans from Colombia. But they were like trying to get in through the vents.
Bloody hell,
But
let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at this next comment. What's the next comment? Sorry, we've got this statement. This is the Uruguayan statement. So I think this came out after the one I've just read out. So it goes on to say that the Uruguayan Football Association, given the public known events that occurred during the Copa America semi-final match between Uruguay and Colombia, wishes to carry out the following remarks. The Uruguayan delegation present in the United States for more than a month has been carrying out its activity to an exemplary manner, both in its personal and group attitude and in its public statements. Respect for the organization, rivals, journalism, security personnel, and the general public has been constant, strictly complying with the rules of the tournament based on the traditional values of our country, which, yeah, that's all right. On Wednesday, under a context of verbal violence, provocations, and various attacks that affected all the Uruguayan fans who attended the match in different sectors, a group of Uruguayan fans located behind the substitutes bench and the technical area were involved in various skirmishes that escalated in temperature. Again, guys, you got to bear with me. This is translated from Spanish. Until triggering situations in which several families of players and staff members of our team ended up involved. Faced with such a situation and in the context of moments of nervousness and desperation in which women and children were held hostage, really? Several players went up to the stands to intercede for their protection and defense. It is notable that this event occurred in a context in which the proportion of the Uruguayan fans was very minority and mostly families, and there was not sufficient security mechanisms in this situation. Given these facts and the aforementioned lack of security, the attitude of the players was inevitable and natural. Once the match was over, sorry guys, it's a bit long-winded. All the people involved in the events were evacuated with the collaboration of the authorities, but not before several of them were treated by the health services of the Uruguayan Football Association, which yesterday issued a medical report. Well, that's interesting. Wasn't Ugarte's mother or something like affected? Didn't she fainted or something? As far as I'm aware.
Jesus. Didn't know that.
Yeah, I think so. Sorry, mate. Regarding the situation experienced in one of the booths where some of the leaders of the Uruguayan delegation, other fans, who accompanied it were located. We must clarify that throughout the match, that sector received hostility from the fans who were located adjacent to the just like they did against another group. Again, this is retranslated, guys, so sorry about this. In this context, regrettably, exchanges of attack took place that were strongly condemned and that will be the subject of analysis on our part without prejudice to the sanctions that may apply to our institutions based on the open files. This association, its 124 years of existence, proudly privileges the maximum respect for the standard of the citizen conduct, banishing all acts of violence in sports. Unfortunately, the events reported which undermined the healthy concept of family in a framework of lack of protection generated an unjustified but humanely understandable reaction. Now, I think that last bit there, where it says that it was unfortunately events reported which undermined the healthy concept of a family in a framework of lack of protection generated an unjustified but humanely understandable reaction. I think that... What's up?
I'm just reading Muscusi's. I've heard Nunez was sipping belly shots from Diaz's dad.
I've missed all these comments. I can't see these comments when I've been reading all that.
Sorry.
Oh, God. A lot of blame to go around, agreed. Yeah, it probably was, yeah.
That's
probably
brilliant.
was. But I guess that was very long-winded. A lot of that went over my head, I'm not going to lie. But by the sounds of it, it sounds to me like the Uruguayans are basically trying to defend their players and say that they're, as much as they're going to turn around and say it may have been, excessive what happened, the fact the situation they were put in led them to felt like they had no other choice but to do it, the players.
Look, the unfortunate thing, and this is kind of like life in general as an adult, someone can act in a certain way, and then your reaction can take away the limelight from their bad behavior. And when you have, let's say, the likes of, the Colombians versus the Uruguayans, and there's crowd trouble, when you have a player like Nunez or any other player that is jumping in and going full force, fists and everything, unfortunately, what is going to happen is the blame is going to be put on Nunez. Mm-hmm. Nunez is going to be told off for it, and Nunez is going to be punished for that. There is plenty of blame to go around with everyone, because it looks like it was an absolute complete and utter shit show in terms of how it was organized, how it was managed. And this has been an ongoing thing since, like, the Champions League final in Paris. We've seen how badly organized that was and what happened there. And it looks as though that's the situation with the Copa America, certainly with that game, and from what I can hear from what I've heard last night as well.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It just seems to be that, like, I think you're right in what you're saying, like sticking with the whole Nunez thing and not thinking about everything else that happened. If Nunez gets punished, surely other players from the Uruguayan team have to get punished also. Because what are you going to punish him for? Is it going to be like, one, entering the fan stand? Is that going to be something that they all get punished for because they're not supposed to do that, right? Two, obviously through a chair, but I don't know the sequence of events. Did that happen after or before? I'm not too sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then going in like Rocky Balboa into the crowd, trying to throw some punches, which I find were quite funny and quite ironic that he actually missed to land some of them as well.
Worse than Jake Paul, what? Honest to God.
Yeah.
No.
Also, hold on, Chris Enns just mentioned here that the chair was before he entered the crowd.
Oh, really? Okay.
So, do you know, Chris? Because you seem to have a bit of other things going on here. Do you know if that rumor is true that Nunez's family had been taken out of the crowd before he went in? Like, that'd be that for me. That would be if it can be proven that his family's been taken out before he goes in, then I think he's getting 6-9 month ban.
But I think the thing is as a player, right? Okay, if his fan, oh, you haven't heard that. Okay, I think as a player, a professional, if there's crowd trouble, the last thing that you want to be doing is jumping in and contributing to the crowd trouble. And no matter what way any association looks at it, they will look at Nunez being fucking balls deep in fucking crowd trouble. I mean, he was in there with a lot of them, so he contributed to the crowd trouble.
Yeah,
whether it started before or started during or started after, he jumped in and he was kicking the crap out of a priest. You know,
I just thought I'd have a quick look now and see what Eric Cantona got when he was banned.
I think he got 9 months.
8 months he was banned.
8 months. I was close.
8 months. Sentenced to community service and fined £30,000. So I wonder if he gets. What I think that might be interesting for us is if what's Muscusi said there?
I think he said because he didn't actually land a punch.
Probably then true, yeah.
I don't know. I think he got a few slaps in and a few kicks in, but definitely, I mean, he didn't make things any easier.
No. So I personally, again, I got nothing to go off this. I think he gets a 6 months ban, and I think it starts from the end of the tournament. I don't reckon it'll be like when they've done the whole trial and everything like that. I don't think it'll be like, right, you're banned for 6 games now. 6 months now, sorry. I reckon he gets banned 6 months from the end of the tournament. Because I initially thought it might have been 6 months from when it happened, but he played. So it can't start then. So, you know, if he was to be banned, for 6 months from July, that takes you up to January before he could play again.
But I mean, are we looking at, do you think that this is going to affect club as well?
Oh, yeah. I don't think it'll just be international. I think it'll be a worldwide ban. Yeah.
So yeah. I don't think this is kind of factored into anyone's head, but I think at the start of when Slot became manager or became head coach, should I say, we were talking about Nunez and this being his last chance.
Yeah.
Is this now the end of Nunez? Because if he's out for 6 or 7 or 8 months, and that means that he's only playing from January or February onwards, does that mean he's done?
You got to think, can't you? Would it be an Ivan Toney situation where
he ain't even allowed to?
Well, no, I was going to say like Ivan Toney was not even allowed to train.
Yeah,
with the first team. So if it's that situation, then yeah, I'd say so. But I've seen a few people talk online saying like, "Oh, Liverpool might have to go buy another striker or whatever." We can't do that. Like, you still have to pay his wages, so that's one. And then who's going to buy Darwin Nunez knowing they can't play him for 6 months? Like nobody's going to pay. No, that's it. He's stuck. He's stuck at Liverpool now until it's over. Whatever comes, if anything comes, nothing may happen. We don't know, but I would be of the impression that something's going to come at the end of this. I honestly do, and I wouldn't be surprised, like I say, if it's a 6 month ban for me.
Guys, in the chat, what do you think? How if you were Arne Slot, how would you deal with this? Considering that this is like, you know, teams that are what's he after saying? Stop. That's terrible. How do you think Arne Slot is going to deal with this? Going to deal with Nunez? Yeah. What would be what do you think, Adam? What do you think? How do you think he'll deal with this?
I think he'll just have to. You have to just treat him with respect, and you know, I think there is rules around the PFA where you can't do certain things. You can't just like scrap players or anything like that for what they've done. So if he's allowed to train with the first team, you know what? This might be a fucking blessing in disguise. He might be able to train for 6 months solid with first team behind the scenes, not have to do anything like that. Arne Slot can just have his hands on him. And then he comes back and plays in January and scores like 40 goals before the end of the season.
Well, that's wishful thinking. But yeah. That's very wishful thinking. I mean, no, but I think, to be honest with you, I don't think it's... I don't know. I think it's really bad timing. Well, obviously, it's never a good time to be like, or to do anything like this, or to be in a situation where, you know, you're going to be suspended for a long, long time because of your actions on international duty. but I think it's a real bad time in his career. If he goes to confessions to the priest, he clipped. Oh man,
Where did he get all these? He's just on
I
it,
don't
and
know.
he's so fast.
He's fucking comedy gold, man. He's comedy gold. Brilliant, brilliant.
What were you saying?
Exclusive to AKM.
Yeah,
Muscusi. No, I think he's in big trouble. I really think he's in big trouble. I think his career at Liverpool could be over.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. All right. So we'll end it like that. So you think his career at Liverpool could be over with big trouble, potentially big ban? I reckon a 6 months ban. But hoping obviously for not that hoping nothing comes of it. I can't see. In fact, I can't see nothing coming of it before we move on. I cannot let them just letting him go.
No,
there's something will come of that because it'll just encourage other people to do it. So something has to happen of that. So.
No, they have to make an example. They have to make an example. Otherwise, everyone will be jumping into the stadium.
Yeah.
Jumping in, true fans. So they have to. I mean, that could have made that twice as bad, or 3 or 4 times bad. There could have been people killed.
Yep.
Because can you imagine? Like, I mean, you see a player jumping out and attacking, fellow fans and whatever. That could have caused, a load of other fans to just jump over their seats and have a go at Nunez. I mean, it's completely inappropriate and wrong. So they need to, unfortunately, they need to make an example of him. And it's a pity because I was rooting for him. I want to see him succeed at Liverpool. But I mean, if you have that sort of character in you, as Brendan Rodgers would say, character, and I think, what if he identifies as a oh man, he's
moving on.
He's brilliant.
So guys, I'm going to move on to some transfer talk now. So first I want to cover is the Atalanta player Edison. Now I've seen a report from, I think it's Give Me Sport, and there's some quotes where he's been talking to AS about how he'd about his time and everything like that. But
did you say some as in SOME or the sun?
Some SOME.
Yeah, don't buy the sun.
Yeah, no. So I have seen some people on social media saying that Liverpool couldn't go for him because of the Copa America. Now, the Copa America with Brazil's participation in it ended about a week and a half ago. Like Brazil got knocked out by Uruguay, I think, or maybe in Colombia, one of the two. So yeah, I don't think that would be holding it up. However, let's have a look at the what's been said. So I've got my little sheet here. So here we go. So it says here, and this is from Give Me Sport, which it's the only thing I could see that was reporting this. I think I need to change the font of these because it's quite hard to make out in it sometimes on the screen. Yeah. So apologies, guys. I'll work on that. But anyway, it goes on to say, does this report that Liverpool sporting director Richard Hughes could take advantage of his contacts in order to recruit Edison after it has emerged that the Atlanta star is refusing to rule out the possibility of sealing a switch to Anfield ahead of the transfer window shutting. The Reds have entered a new era after Arne Slot penned a 3-year contract to take over from his predecessor, Jurgen Klopp. I'm going to skip all that. I don't know why I copied that over. Hughes has been tasked with leading Liverpool's recruitment drive, having become Michael Edwards' first internal appointment since being named Fenway Sports Group's chief executive of football. He is scouring the market for potential reinforcements as August the 30th deadline edges closer. So they're saying that it could potentially happen. Now, I've got his little. Hold on. These are his. These are his quotes that Edison has said. So he goes on to say, "I'm very happy at Atalanta.
Hello?
the moment, if there has to be some kind of change, I trust my agents. I have an agent who has been with me for over 13 years. So the moment he thinks something positive is going to happen, he will tell me and we are in contact about that. That last bit there, do you reckon that's something that is happening? Where if you read that, I don't know if that's just translated wrong, but where it says there, the moment he thinks something positive is going to happen, he will tell me and we are in contact about that.
I don't know. I mean, first of all, I have to say that picture's not very flattering because it looks like he could milk a creche. Someone muted you halfway through. Yeah,
I think is it?
Yeah, because I thought I'd lost you there.
Oh, right. I think my internet might have just been playing up. I don't know. It popped up with like a thing then. Anyway, so I'll just cover that again. So basically, what I wanted to cover is this bit here. In the second paragraph, it says, the moment his agent thinks that something positive is going to happen, he will tell me and we are in contact about that. I don't know if that's like a translation issue or what, but that to me sounds like something's happening there. I don't know. What do you think?
I think he's open for possibilities for a move away from Atalanta, but it doesn't necessarily mean that Liverpool are in for him. I mean, if we were to sign every player that we're linked with, we may have some financial fair play breaches of our own. I mean, can we see Edison benefiting from Liverpool or Liverpool benefiting from him? I mean, from what I can see of him, he's a good player. But I don't really know.
Yeah,
I don't really know. I mean, we need a defensive midfielder. So,
what's this city, Chris N? Sounds like a translation thing. The word will is often assumed in other languages. Future tense. Right. Okay. Cool. Thanks for clearing that up. I can't remember where I was now. I keep losing my. Have I cut out again? Did I cut out again?
No, you didn't. No.
All right. Okay. If an offer comes, Atalanta will decide. If something comes up about a transfer, the club has to accept it first. And that is the most important thing. I have a good relationship with Atalanta. So the moment they come and tell me that they have some kind of offer, that will be when the talks start. At the moment, I am an Atalanta player and I am still an Atalanta player. When my time with the national team ends, I will also enjoy a short vacation, which is important to rest, and then I will return to Italy. So that's that in regards to what he said and the potential claims of a move happening, shall we say. But again, I just want to stress the stuff I've seen on social media regarding nothing could happen because he's at the Copa. Brazil exited the Copa America a week and a half ago or something like that. So he's not been playing football for at least 7 days now. So I just wanted to cover his stats as well, which I don't think we've done on this channel. I might have touched on it a little bit, but here we go. So as you can see, he plays at Atalanta. He's 25 years of age. He's played centre mid and as a defensive mid as well. His valuation I've seen is about 60 to 70 million pounds. He made 53 appearances last year, 7 goals, 1 assist, all comps. He had an injury-free season, so that means if he joins Liverpool, he's getting injured straight away. He had 10 yellow cards with 0 reds, and his contract doesn't expire till 2027. Now, his percentiles at the bottom, guys, they've got his age on there. I think, it's because he's literally just turned 25. He turned 25 like a couple of days ago. So he wins 57% of his duels. Defensive actions, 66.6. 666. Bloody hell, we don't want him then, do we? A progressive carries is 24.5, so he kind of moves forward with the ball a fair bit. His forward passes is 80. He's in the top 84.6, and his completion rate is in the top 71.5. So not too bad going forward. His key passes in the top 47%. So for a central midfielder who's kind of like a defensive midfielder, also, I think that's pretty good. His progressive passes at 87.8, and he played 3,114 minutes. Now, when we slightly compared, sounds like he's up in mind, but he doesn't want to disrespect his club.
Yeah.
He's not. Yeah, true. Yeah. Now, I think the last time we spoke about Edison, we also touched on Ugarte. Now, I've saved this from last time. Now, if you just I just want to try and compare this. If you look at Edison's little radar here, you can see how it seems to be a bit all over the place, yeah? Where he's a bit involved with everything. If you look at Ugarte's, he's strongly just a defensive midfielder. So for me, if you're after that destroyer, that person that's going to just sit there and just win the ball and pass it on, you're looking at Ugarte for me. He's...
Have we lost you again? Can anyone hear me?
Sorry?
I thought we lost you again there.
Oh, God, man. What did you hear?
I just... No, you were talking about, as a defender. I mean, Ugarte is more a defensive-minded defensive midfielder, where Edison is kind of all over the place in terms of...
Yeah, so Edison for me is a bit more involved with everything, and he couldn't play the defensive role, but it's not what he's known for. It's not what he's best at. Whereas Ugarte, as you can see, he is probably more of a defensive-minded midfielder for me. But Liverpool like to have that flexibility. Liverpool like to have people that can play in multiple positions. So maybe Edison is someone that could come in and he may improve defensively. But for me, out of the two of them, if I had to pick one right now, I probably would take Ugarte out of the two of them. And we've also got a good relationship with Ugarte's agency, Just a Few. So here's that. What's this here? Muscusi. Oh, you agree with me? Thank you, Muscusi. I didn't pay him for that, even though he's just exclusive to the AKM channel. So I wanted to touch on next is, unless you've got anything else you want to say about Ugarte or Edison, Shona?
I'm going to let the dogs in case the neighbors complain. So I'm just going to go away for 2 seconds and then I'll be back.
Cool. You'll be back.
Okay, I'll be back.
So while Shauna's going, guys, I will cover off on Mark Gahey. Now, there's been links with him, as you can see at the top of this page here. He was first linked with Liverpool back in February in the Telegraph by Matt Law. He basically said that Liverpool are interested in signing central defender Mark Gahey, with the new Crystal Palace manager at the time already facing a battle to hold on to the club's leading players. We already know they've lost Elise to Bayern Munich. There's question marks over Eze, and he's the next one that's been linked with a move. Now, just before I come off this a minute. So there has been some people that have been running with the story on social media today and yesterday saying that Fabrizio Romano has said that Liverpool are looking to sign, are in negotiations with Crystal Palace over Mark Gahey. But if you actually look at what he said, what's this? Sean has gone to the off-license and taken on it. Yeah, he has 100%. But if you actually look at what Romano actually said, he says here that Mark Gahey has been linked with Liverpool. I can tell that Liverpool have been scouting the player for some time, and he's a player they like for sure. But at the moment, I can't tell you that Liverpool are negotiating for him, because at the moment, the situation is quiet around him. Obviously, there is the Euros. So after the Euros, we will see the appreciation of Liverpool for the player. I can confirm to you, not only Liverpool, there are also other clubs, for example, Arsenal and many others who appreciate the player. But in terms of the bid and in terms of negotiations, it's a different story. So if you see anything on social media, guys, I want to point out the fact that there is no talks taking place, according to Fabrizio Romano, between Liverpool and Palace for this defender. Oh, he's here. Bloody hell. He's back. So, yeah, if you've seen that, Romano's been misquoted. He hasn't said that. But if we were to look at Gahey as a potential player that Liverpool could look at, we've got his stats page here for you guys. So he's 24 years of age, centre back. Don't know why it says centre mid. Valued between 60 and 70 million. Man United are also interested in him. I know that Romano touched on Arsenal, but Arsenal, I would say, are very...
Losing you again, Adam.
I think you've lost me again, haven't you?
No, we lost you a bit.
I don't know what's going on with this internet. I don't know what's going on.
Arsenal were infirm or something like that.
Oh yeah, Arsenal, it says, are supposed to be in for Gahey, but I think they're fully focused on Calafiori right now, who Liverpool were linked with. So all of last year, all competitions, Gahey only made 29 appearances and he had 1 assist. He missed 12 league games due to a knee injury last year. 2 yellow cards, no reds. His contract expires in 2026. So this time next year, he would be in his final year of his contract. And I did find this interesting. He has the same agency as Anthony Gordon.
Ooh.
So I find that interesting considering what we've just seen around Anthony Gordon in Liverpool. I did think that was quite interesting. As you look at his percentiles here, he's in the top 58.8 for passes, 61.6 for forward passes, progressive passes 45.8, defensive actions 25.7, defensive duels 87.5, which is pretty high. His aerial duels is 3.1, which I think is pretty low for a centre back. Progressive carries 53.1, and he played 2,258 minutes. Now, what I will say on this player is I think he was pretty good for England in the and I said World Cup then, in the Euros. I thought he played all right. I think he was one of England's best players. At 60 million, I'm not too sure I'd be looking at getting him at that. If we can get him for something along the lines of 45 to 50, I'd be a bit more inclined. So I'll have to just wait and see. I know you've just come back, but you got any thoughts on Mark Gahey?
Not really. Not really. I can't say that I have any thoughts about it. I've been kind of not really tuned into him or not really been listening to any links about him, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I mentioned in the first bit when you were gone that it was first linked with us back in February by the Telegraph, and then it seems to have popped up again by Fabrizio Romano, where some people have been running with it saying that Romano says Liverpool are in negotiations, but when you actually look at the quotes, he just said that Liverpool like him, but there's nothing going on right now. So if you've seen that on social media, it's not correct.
That's a good question there by Chris N. I remember sending you something on about that, about the homegrown.
Yeah. So
player.
if I remember off the top of my head, Chris, we've got Kelleher, Gomez, Conor Bradley, Trent, Quansah, Elliott, Curtis Jones. That's 7, isn't it? I think you need 8, don't you? I think that's 7. That's why I was looking at Jeremy Frimpong, to be fair, the right back. He'd class as a homegrown player because of his time at City and that. But if they include someone like Bobby Clark or, another one of them youngsters, then that'd class as one, I guess. But Bajcetic, I think he classes as one as well at the moment. He may class as a homegrown player. So that's the 8 there. So yeah, we should be all right, I think. Obviously, it depends if Kelleher goes. If he goes, then you're back down again. But yeah, I think that's them all. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I think that's them all. Have you got a comment there, sorry? Jaros would as well. Would he as well? Would he class as a homegrown player? That's interesting as well if he did as well. Thanks for that, Johnny. Appreciate that. That'd be interesting if he classed as one. So I guess the last transfer link that I want to talk about was Goncalo Inacio. Now, this has popped up again. He was linked to us heavily last year. He had a release clause, which was like £38 million. Didn't trigger it. He signed an extension, so his release clause went to 60 million euros now from whatever it was at the time. But anyway, This article is from, again, Caught Offside, not something that I recommend, guys, but I've seen people talking about it, so I thought I'd just, put it up there. So it goes on to say here that Liverpool are understood to be making progress in negotiations over a potential transfer for him. Now, stop it right there. There's no need for negotiations. You know the price. You pay the release clause and you don't have to negotiate. So that's that done, dusted there. They say that there's some uncertainty around Van Dijk's future at Liverpool, and the Reds have made a new central defender one of their top priorities this summer. I think a new centre-back is needed whether or not Van Dijk's there or not. If Van Dijk's go, you need two.
Absolutely. With Matip, gone.
Yeah, exactly. Inacio is currently the priority for Liverpool, and though he has a release clause of 60 million euros at Sporting, there's a growing feeling that the Portuguese giants could compromise on that fee. All right, fair enough. He looks a fine talent. He has also been on the radar of other top clubs such as Man United and Arsenal, though Liverpool are now clear favourites for the 22-year-old. Inacio is not the only name on Liverpool's list, however. We have a list of alternatives, including Jean-Claude Torpedo, Mark Gahey, who we've just talked about, and William Pacho of Frankfurt. Remains to be seen which name will end up the most realistic for Liverpool, but for now, it seems Inacio is the focus, and things seem to be moving in the right direction on that deal. One thing I will add about all three of them players that were named, I think every single one of them plays on the left-hand side of defence. Inacio is left-footed, Pacho is left-footed. I don't know if Gahey's left-footed. I think he's still right-footed, but he does play on the left-hand side of the centre-back partnership. He's here. Martin's here. He's here. Hope you're all right, mate. Hope you're all right. We could report a youth keeper. Yeah, we could, Miss Guzzi. We could. Stat on wrong person. Stat sheet for Inacio. 22 years of age, left-footed centre-back, 60 million release clause, previously 38.5. Man United are interested, 49 appearances, 4 goals, 1 assist, 2 thigh injuries, so he missed 2 games, 9 yellow cards with 0 reds, and his contract expires in 2027. He's in the top 95.8 for his passes, which is really high. His forward passes is 72.6. Progressive passes 99.3. That's outrageous for a centre-back. Defensive actions 21.5. Defensive duels 45.4. Aerial duels 21.1. And progressive carries 77. Out of the 2 centre-backs we've just covered on this live, Inacio is the younger, better player for me. I know it's in the Portuguese league. I know it's not as physical as the Premier League, but based on all that, he's got the most stuff that could, Liverpool could use. And if we do end up keeping Van Dijk, he can just keep him and he can learn from Van Dijk for a season. What's this going on, isn't it? What's he saying? Isn't it great, England? Yeah, we spoke about that, mate. Spoke about that. Yeah, they are crap. Yeah.
He's way behind. He's like a satellite delay, Martin.
What about you? Anything you want to say about Inacio?
Well, I mean, from the previous streams that we've done, we've discussed them, and from making comparisons to the other players that were linked in that position, I would be kind of going for Inacio there as well myself.
Yeah, same. So I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover on players. I don't think there's anybody else wants to touch on. So, is there anything else you want to talk about, Sean, before we get to the last thing?
Not really. I don't really have much to talk. I mean, it's been very quiet, to be honest with you. I'm hoping that there's going to be more things to talk about next week. With all of the internationals out of the way, I'm really hoping that we that we start seeing a bit of movement. And Richard Hughes and Ernest Lott have a little chat and then start getting a few players under the belt. I definitely think that we need to get a centre back. Or centre back or a left back. And Inacio then comes into that. And I then think a defensive midfielder in terms of a striker. I think we'll probably see a change in that maybe next year. Because I think Nunez is in trouble.
Yeah. And I think as well, I'll just second what you said there. I think now that all the tournaments are over, and after we heard Richard Hughes' comments at the press conference, I think we will start seeing a lot more. What is it? Transfer news coming out shortly. I think we'll see a lot more reliable stuff. Some of these names I spoke about may not happen. Some of them may see a lot more about Edison coming out. Might do, might not. But as I still stick with what I said, I'd take Ugarte over Edison, and out of the two centre backs I just mentioned, I'd take Inacio over Guy at the moment. I wouldn't say no to Guy, to be fair, though. I think he was I thought he was all right, to be fair. So I've got this little clip to play now for you guys from that Sean has prepared for us all. I hope you're all ready for the Would You Rather. I ain't playing the full minute of that. That ain't happening. That ain't happening.
Yeah, so obviously we've heard that Amanda Staveley is leaving Newcastle, and she's a big Liverpool fan. But I think the boys want to kind of ask, well, who would you rather? Linda Prucy-Henry or Amanda Staveley?
I don't know.
Now, that's, of course, we could go there, or we could talk about, well, who would you rather own Liverpool Football Club? Amanda Staveley or FSG?
I think, well, to be fair, you know what? You know of what happened at Newcastle, they haven't really become the juggernaut we all expected them to be. They haven't. I think they've spent the money, I guess, but I guess taking into consideration who she represents and who would potentially be interested in buying Liverpool if she was to come on. Yeah, I'd say Amanda Staveley.
She was also responsible, and I didn't actually know this until I did a bit of research. She was actually responsible for the takeover in Man City.
Was she? Didn't know that.
She was actually responsible for that. So she has a lot of contacts in that area, which, some Liverpool fans would be. Now, I'm not saying that this is what she's going to do. This is just pure speculative talk and just for the laugh and a bit of banter and what have you. But there is, she is heavily linked with that area. And, she has said that she's a Liverpool fan. Yeah, and I just think if you were to have like an owner of a club who's actually at the games, I mean, I wouldn't mind having Linda and Amanda as a little, because I think Linda, in fairness to her, she's very she talks about Liverpool a lot. She's kind of interacting with the fans online, sometimes good, sometimes bad. She does get a bit of stick, bless her, but she's certainly more talkative than John W. If she's fit, get her in. Do you not know what Amanda Staveley looks like? That would be good, like Chris said. Yeah. Well,
I think, to be fair, if Amanda Staveley did come in and did try and do some sort of takeover Liverpool, I reckon I won't put it past me if she became the chairperson, or the chairwoman or whatever. I reckon she'd take a bit more of a leading role than she did do at Newcastle.
She said, Johnny McLean says, I take both.
I think you said that, didn't you, Shano?
I did say that, but I mean, are you talking about football or what? But I mean, look, if we can have the passion that both of them have, minus John W. Henry, Tom Warner, and Mike Gordon, I think we'd be doing all right. A lot of people would have big issues over the fact that Amanda Staveley is linked with that part of the world. A lot of people have big question marks over that and kind of human rights and whatnot. I don't think we can really talk about that when we still have Standard. Why am I moving like this? Standard Chartered as our main sponsors when there's still question marks over them funding terrorism and whatnot. So,
has anything come of that yet? I know we covered it, but anything? I've not seen anything. Have you?
No, and I mean, I know I had said something that I haven't really seen any Liverpool YouTubers say all that much about it. All right, Brandon.
We did,
yeah, but there was also the Dugout had said something about it, I think, and who else? He was just on the show there. I think you were on his stream earlier.
Oh, Jamie Phillips.
I think Jamie Phillips might have mentioned it as well.
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah.
As far as I know, Miss Goosey, did I accidentally put you on a timeout there? Will you let me know? I hope I didn't. Brushed under the carpet by the top breads.
No, I don't think Miss Goosey's in a timeout. He's still there.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, exactly, Johnny. And this is a thing that I was kind of discussing there last week. Was it last week we were talking about the tickets, or the week before?
Yeah, when we touched on the what was his name, talk about the out of towners and stuff like that. That might have been last week. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Hold on a second. I have to leg it for a second. I'll be back.
Bloody hell! Second time he's done this to me tonight. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know, guys. What do you think? Do you think that Amanda Staveley, again, we talk about hypothetically, would she be someone as a Liverpool fan coming in and potentially bringing in some Middle Eastern money into Liverpool? Again, it's not going to happen. I don't think anyway. But we're just talking about it as a you know, we're just talking about it basically because we've seen that she was at Liverpool games prior to going to Newcastle. I think she was involved with some sort of potential takeover of Liverpool at one point. It never happened. Then went up to Newcastle. Shauna's just brought up that she was involved with the Man City deal that happened there. So, as you know, Shauna also mentioned as well, she is a Liverpool fan. So I think that'd be it'd be good to have someone who's actually a fan of the club back in charge again after FSG. I think we've had FSG come in. They've steadied the ship. They've rectified what needed fixing in regards to, the club's commercial aspects. And if that means anything to you, I don't really care. But it puts the club on a good filter going forward and everything like that. Sorry, guys, just catching some of these comments here. If they could bring him, I'd trust them. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Imagine she's stepping down to go buy out Liverpool. Maybe she liquidated. Well, not liquidated, but she sold all of her shares, didn't she? Newcastle. I think at one point she had something like, again, I may be wrong with these numbers, but she had like 10-15% shares in Newcastle, and then she got that down to 6%, and then she's just sold all them off. So maybe maybe she can use some of that money to do it. And I think she's married to that guy as well from the Middle East. So they've got connections over there like Qataris and stuff like that. So maybe, never know. I have to just obviously wait and see what happens. Oh, he's back again. Just as I was about to.
I'm sorry, lads.
I was just waffling then. I don't even know what I was on about.
Does anybody know? Does anybody know what Adam was talking about?
Didn't someone try to make her bankrupt?
That's Amanda Staveley. I think they did, yeah.
Not sure about that. Is that recent? Is that recent?
I don't think it's recent. I think it was a good few years ago. But look, sure, I mean, a lot of these businessmen and women have been bankrupted at some stage or other. Doesn't mean that they're unsuccessful. Hold on a second till I check her out. Sorry, I'm after legging it from the front door and I'm already out of breath. That really says it all, doesn't it?
Well, if there's nothing else, Sean, I was thinking about ending it, mate. If you're happy.
I'm always happy. You see, I didn't do Monday Moan, guys, because I thought, look, you know, there's enough moaning about and whatnot, and especially on X, who have now decided to put us on a subscription, and we're not going to pay for a subscription. All right, Gerson. I personally would love to have her on Liverpool's board, you know. Yeah. I mean, so would I, but I mean, it'd have to be up for all the right reasons. I don't really think she's done all that much at Newcastle, to be honest with you. Only getting rid of Mike Ashley, and that's all well and good. But I don't think she has really herself and her partner, I don't think have really met expectations, and I think Newcastle fans will be probably a little bit underwhelmed. So that way, I mean, if I was to pick, I can't pick between FSG and Amanda Staveley, because I don't know who she would bring to the setup, but I would definitely I wouldn't mind Linda's passion and Amanda's passion, and a good bit of backing of football owners that support the club and actually go to the games. That's what I would want. I don't see FSG selling anytime soon, despite, you know, all the rumors and what has gone out, you know, in the media over the last year and a half or so. So I don't see them doing that either. I could see the likes of Tom Warner maybe pulling out like a porn star.
But yeah, actually, I guess Martin's with us. Let's listen to what he wants to say.
Oh,
hello.
Look up. Is he? You might want to put your. Are you on mute?
No, I was just talking to myself.
That'd be about right.
I tell you what, mate. I'd go with that Amanda Staveley any day.
Yeah. As in like a business venture, or
Mate, I would go down the same route as I'd go down Linda, mate, and I wouldn't come up for a breath either.
Jesus Christ, Martin. And that was the end of Adam Naylor LFC. It was good while it lasted.
Can you imagine? Imagine.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right, man. All right. Just we're gonna just gonna finish up, to be fair. But if you want to get some thoughts in about what we just covered, if you want.
Mate, I haven't got a clue what you spoke about. I've been working.
All right, we'll do quick fire then. Quick fire. What do you think's happened to Nunez?
Nunez? Yeah, I hope he's gone.
You think he's gone?
I hope so.
All right.
Hey, Gomez as well.
But hold on a second. Who's going to go for a player that
I don't
could be banned for 6 months?
Get rid of him. You don't act like that in a shirt. I named my boy after Luis Suarez. He bit. Get rid of him. He's fighting. Get rid of him. You don't bring that shit to the club. No.
Yeah. Okay. I get where you're coming from now.
Not my Monday moan today, you.
Hold on, where's it
okay, Martin's.
Catch another fight. The apple bottom make him wanna bite. I just wanna have a good night. I just wanna have a good night.
Right, go on then, mate. What about what do you think about what's his face, Mark Gahey, to come into Liverpool centre back?
You want me to be honest, mate? I haven't got a clue who he is.
What about that Inacio kid?
I like that Inacio.
Yeah, he seems all right, doesn't he? We looked at his stats just then, and he seems a lot better than the Gahey lad.
I'd have that, what's his name? Connor. Oh, what's his name?
Gallagher.
Newcastle lad.
Yeah, I'd have him. Yeah.
Yeah, he seems all right. What are your thoughts on England Euros?
Hey, football went to Spain. It went to Spain. Listen, I'm a Scotland fan. We're always disappointed at the first. You know, it's like what I should have done, mate. England needs to do. We should have pulled out. You know what? I know lately, like over the last 5 years, my knowledge of football, mate, you can write on a postage stamp. I love Liverpool. but I couldn't care less no more. It's not the same.
No.
I love Liverpool, and I will always love Liverpool, even despite the whole FSG thing and all the trouble. Like I'll yeah. I'm planning on getting a tattoo actually on my leg, to be honest with you. So that's where I'm at the moment. I love Liverpool, always will.
I've got 3 of them.
Yeah, and you've got a fucking well, you can't see it with your bloody rug on your chest and the bloody outline that you have.
Listen, it's a good job you can only see top half, mate.
Well, that's true. That is
So, Van Dijk, what's the situation with Van Dijk? Do you think he'll go?
Oh, actually, yeah, we probably should have covered that when we were talking about centre backs. Like, have you seen his comments that he came out with?
Mate, them comments saying, well, he has to see where his future is or whatever it was. Have you heard that, mate? You're Liverpool. If you're not Liverpool, go. Bye. No one's bigger than the club.
It's something that you wouldn't really expect from a Liverpool captain, the current Liverpool captain. And I think it may have been kind of dismissed by others, but I personally think, that's not something that you want to hear from a Liverpool captain. You want to hear that he's committed to the club, that he captains.
You want to hear them words of, I'm Liverpool captain. It doesn't matter who's manager I'm here. I'm staying until I'm ready to go.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with what you're saying. I think the only thing I would say in defense of him is that he was asked literally after they'd just been knocked out of the Euros. So I'm just kind of like, his head may have been a bit all over the place. But again, them comments do sound like, as Johnny says here, them comments sound like he'd had a conversation with someone else. I think so.
Right.
I think he might have had his head turned.
I always said that Van Dijk should never have been captain. Should never have been given a captain. I couldn't really be asked with all the media stuff about, should we have a Scouser as captain and all that, mate. I reckon Trent deserves it. I do. He may be a bit young, but I think he should be captain.
Wasn't Gerrard young when he took it?
Well, yeah, Gerrard was young, but Gerrard was a different character of footballer.
Yeah, you won't get in like the likes of Stevie G.
No, it's different. Like Gomez. I can't. I know he's a good player. He's the defensive 5-yard. I just something about him. He's like my wife. You like it or you don't, and it's like.
Jenna, I'm sorry.
Some days I don't.
Oh God, where's Streamlab when we need it, Martin?
Yeah.
Please stop insulting your wife. I disagree with your comments about Van Dijk. To be honest with you, I think he's a beast, and I think because of him he was captain at Southampton. I think he was also captain at Celtic as well. And I think that's the very reason why he became captain at Liverpool. And it's the only reason I think that he has it over Trent. That's the only reason.
Yeah, I agree with you. He's been, up until last season, mate, he had been phenomenal. But since he's got that injury and he's come back, he's just been not been the same player. He's not going 100%. No more, he's like putting only 80% into what he wants to do. He's not as vocal as he was no more. Maybe
that is his 100% now. Maybe he doesn't have that. He can't reach that again because of his injury. Don't know. Maybe it was quite a bad injury that he had. He could have broke his leg,
Yeah. Thanks, Pickford.
Arms. But yeah. Right. I think I'll end the stream there, guys. We'll be back next week if you are interested. If we hopefully get Martin on.
I only work till 8. I work till 8 o'clock.
All right, fine.
Yeah, I'm not like you. Who only fucking finishes at 3 o'clock. You go and get me beanie on, and I'm not there like a keyboard warrior behind him. I go out manually.
Right. Well, I do go. I walk to the office and I walk back, so I guess I'll take that. So
yeah.
Right then, guys. We're back here next week at 7 o'clock on YouTube and Twitch, as we can't do X anymore because we need a subscription on there now. So can't do that. But until next week, guys, we'll catch you then. See you later.
So long.
See ya.